hard to hold off talking.
Video's going too. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
When all this first began, I never dreamt it would end this way. I had just come out of the police academy and received my first solo assignment. It seems like only yesterday.
The money was inside the fish?
This is Film Sack. Oh, sure.
Hello, and welcome to Film Sack. This is Film Sack, mining the very depths of film entertainment for all mankind, episode 649. I'm Scott Johnson. Joined today by Brian. He ate 14 plates of beans before his scheduled execution done away.
Oh, you guys are in for a surprise. Electric. Oh, hi. This week on Film Sack, we get super fuzzy about what exactly our eyes are seeing over on Amazon Prime or the far superior visual fidelity transfer on YouTube. After we receive a deadly dose of super-powered Italian action cop comedy from this 1980s forgotten HBO midday movie staple that apparently has given us the ability to endure a lethal injection's worth of "No, not this effing theme song again" straight into our ear holes like some kind of cop you can't judge by his cover, unless that cop is Ernest Borgnine and he is literally licking the top of that inflatable ball they have been dancing around on. Okay, I am judging. Gross. Anywho, now that we had the powers to stop, grocery store thieves armed with guns and wearing controlled top pantyhose on their heads by catching bullets with our gun barrels and our beautiful Italian smiles. Oh, hi. I guess it is time to see if we can do something really beneficial for our community, like gaslighting our girlfriend with some post-optic suggestions to get her to marry us and have our little Italian babies, which just so happen to look like Ernest Borgnine. Hey, wait a minute. Randy, why are you so mad? It's like you're sorry I'm still alive.
Nicely done. Ernest Borgnine, MVP. Borgnine, MVP.
Oh, for sure.
With us also, Randy. Now you duck and hit him real fast, Jordan.
Aloha, Scott. Brian. All right, listen up. I'm the police chief here in Miami, Florida, and what I say goes right out the window. Super Snooper. Okay, I remember one time in police college, I painted myself green and pretended to be a Martian. You are a bunch of the most useless cops I've ever seen, unless you count seeing cops in comedy movies where every quick scene ends with a punchline song beat. And that, features like a nonsense word like dingler, like he's a dingler. Now, just imagine how life would be if that happened 10 times a day. I think you'd kill yourself, but you're not allowed to any suicides until you finish your shift as cops. And while you're out there, you're required to follow these 3 rules. Number 1, at any time, you might be in a situation where someone could hurl themselves out a window or like through a wall. At any of those times, I need you to place yourself at least 10 stories up. In the real world, almost all police departments are on the ground floor for good reasons, but not yours. Hell, you should make people who go to see an execution climb several flights of stairs before they get to the witness chamber. Number 2, only a couple of you are allowed to ever do anything in your capacity as cops. A city the size of Miami, we have around 500 cops. And we only have 2 who actually do stuff. There's an exception, except when we need all cops to arrive at the seaplane landing at precisely the same moment. Number 3. This is important.
All right.
Speaking of moments.
Okay.
When a person appears to fall to their death, you are required by local law to begin a solemn funeral for them immediately. And if anyone around you gets on their phone during your impromptu eulogy, you give them hell, that asshole.
Oh, man. That's
Email.
Rule 3 is that one's really striking a chord. Holy hell. Well, there you have it. Finally with us, we got Brian. He always explains his problems away because of the color red ibit.
I do. And let me put down my giant bowl of meringue that I'm whipping for some reason. And
so weird.
Let me answer the door. Oh, who are you looking for? You're looking for Officer Speed? No, I'm sorry. He lives 3 doors down.
Oh my lord.
Bah.
Maybe we don't hear it.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Hold on a second. Oh, so you guys didn't hear me playing Tiny Dancer earlier. That was
Oh
Nope. Didn't hear that
you
either.
thought that fell on flat. You fell on flat,
I
right?
was like wondering why the joke, like, oh, the joke just isn't going anywhere. Huh? I wonder why. All right. You're looking for Officer Speed? He lives 3 doors down.
Oh my gosh, perfect ending. Super lady
I
for
know.
the win there.
It's funny because usually we've been having more modern movies and you go with older songs, and this time you went with a not super modern but much more modern than
More
compared to the
modern than
80s.
usual. Yeah, exactly. For
that
an
was-
older movie.
That was awesome. I loved it. Total shite is correct, by the way, everybody.
Total shite.
The film we're talking about is the Sergio Corbucci classic Super Fuzz,
Spaghetti
a.k.a.
Western director. Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost called something else. It was almost called Super Snooper, which
That's the theme song.
I don't understand the Snooper bit. Can we, before I play the
Yeah.
fake Fletcher, can someone explain the Snooper part?
Detective,
I mean, a
right?
snoop,
He's a
yeah.
like a detective. Yeah.
Okay.
It's another term for detective is a snoop.
Italian.
This Italian writer director who we've seen before, right? We sacked Django, right?
Yeah.
I think we did.
Spaghetti westerns. We did.
So this guy,
We did thank Django. I didn't realize it was his.
Mhm.
Yeah.
so this guy doesn't speak English. Like you could tell. You just watch the movie, you could tell. Oh, this guy doesn't speak English at all. And so he makes a movie called Poliziotto Supio, whatever the hell it's called, right?
Yeah.
And then
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
and then some sits down with some like English speaking producer, and what are we going to call this in English, right?
Mm.
And they're watching the movie, and of course you would call it Super Snooper. Once you have a finished movie, right, with the music in it, and your editor has made the decision to have the word Super Snooper sung 200 times, right? Like of
Just
course.
200?
I mean, it felt like a lot more. Yeah.
And the snooper part, like it's meaningless, but it rhymes with trooper. And for some reason, they didn't decide to call it Super Trooper.
Well, even in the movie, I didn't capture it, but at least once somebody called him a super trooper. I think it was Borgnine at one point said, "Well, something about a super trooper," and I went, "There's your name." And yes, it would have fouled up the future comedy guys who had their own movie idea with the name Super Trooper, but you could have locked it in. What the hell were you guys thinking?
I'm dependent on my my music people here because I didn't look it up, but did the song come first, Super Snooper, or is the song specifically
The song was
created?
made for the
for the
song
movie.
was definitely made for the movie. You can actually even find the
What
like
band
the
was
music
this?
video. It was called Oceans, I think.
Okay, were they
The
Italian
Oceans.
or
The Oceans were the band.
The
Okay.
Oceans, not to be
were they
confused with
Italian?
the Billy Oceans.
the Billy Oceans?
The
Were the
Billy
Oceans
Ocean.
Italian? Was there also another
I would
language
believe it.
barrier
Because
thing?
it definitely sounded like Euro disco kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
So
God,
I
so
would not be
disco.
They were
surprised. if it
German.
was-
German.
German, really? Okay.
Wait a
All
minute,
right.
hold on. That can't be right.
That's interesting because then that introduces a third level of confusion, right? Language barriers.
Oh, the whole movie is Italian German. Like
shot in Miami.
Yeah,
right?
shot in Miami by people starring a man who also doesn't speak English. I mean,
Yeah,
But
it's
fun to
weird.
listen to.
It's
Speaking
weird,
English.
man. Oh yeah, it's a real good time.
Might be Netherlands.
yeah, there's
That's what
a
I'm finding
newer
now.
band called The Ocean that's German.
Yeah,
Oh.
the label came from
Shins.
Duerco, Benelux. The country that the album was released in initially was Netherlands, 1981. Soundtrack disco. Wow, lot of tracks. 8 tracks on this thing. I only think I ever heard one
I
song.
I hope all is good is the one that they plastered all over the place. Did you guys
Jeez.
watch this back in the day on? This was
Brian
This was
Dunaway,
not
I
my-
need you to know no
Yeah.
one has ever watched this movie.
This thing used to come
Back in
on
the day
HBO
or
all the
more than a
time.
week
No,
ago.
he's right.
Apparently
Dunaway's
it
right.
did,
This was
yeah.
a staple on HBO. Like
Sure, but no one
every
watched it.
day. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's where I think
You had
I'd
it
seen
on.
chunks of it, like bits of it at my friend's
Really?
house. Yeah, not the whole
See, I
movie,
could
but
see I could see if you're like having fever dreams or something, like you're staying home from school and mom's like, all right, I'll put HBO on because I know that nudie show Dream On doesn't show up until like after 6 p.m. So and then Super Fuzz / Snooper comes on maybe a couple times during the day.
My grandparents had cable, but it was basic cable, and I don't know if they were stealing it or what, but they had HBO. So it was like, so during the daytime, it was either turn on HBO and see some weird shit and leave it running, or watch soap operas, because that was about the only thing you were.
That's what you had during the day. Yeah, you didn't have anything else. Yeah. That's true. I think I saw chunks of this, pieces of it.
As a kid,
yeah,
it's fun.
It's fine as a kid. As a kid, I probably enjoyed the times I glanced at the TV while we weren't, looking at a comic book or whatever the hell we were up to.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. This movie is very, very bad by any measure. Okay, but it's some of the
very bad movie.
It's some of the most stupid fun I've had watching the Film Sack movie in a while. Like I really enjoyed the process of this garbage. The only complaint I have is the version that we told everybody to watch is over on Prime, and it's called Super Snooper on Prime. When you search for it on Just Watch, it comes up as Super Fuzz, and you click it, it takes you to this Super Snooper thing. I'm not surprised now why so many people pinged us on socials and stuff going, this thing says Super Snooper. Is this the same movie? Like, everybody got confused about this. I don't know why they can't just pick
the presence of Ernest Borgnine, like seeing his name come up, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm in the right place because I'm seeing Borgnine's name.
Same. And the Amazon version is like this 4x3 crop version that they must have ripped from a VHS, because I was shocked to find a far superior version on YouTube. I couldn't believe that it almost like it's been remastered, but I'm like, no one in their right mind would take their time to find this and remaster it. But it is lovingly preserved.
Yeah, and you guys put up the comparison. I couldn't believe how much better the YouTube version looked. Usually that is somebody holding up a camera up to their TV and recording.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead.
There's
Randy.
multiple different versions on YouTube. I apparently found one that I didn't think was that good, and I just went back to Amazon Prime. But like Dunaway found one that looks fantastic, and
Pristine.
I can't help but think this is like the work of AI, right? Like you have you have people who they take a crappy looking movie and run it frame by frame through something that's touching it up and making.
And this is going to be the AI that's going to destroy us. The one we trained on Super Fuzz. It's going to be
sure.
It'll be the one that it'll be the most repetitive and sings a certain thing in our ear every 5 seconds.
It'll be the most angry AI in the future. Yeah. How dare you do this to me?
Humanity deserves to die.
I wish I would have known. Well, I know you said there was supposedly a good version on YouTube, and I never just bothered to go look, because in my head I'm like, well, the premium service I pay for, they must have the version that everybody would rather see.
Oh yeah.
Turns out no.
Expect.
Right. Yeah. Which is funny, because like the reason that it's available on YouTube for free is because it's on Amazon Prime. Like it's because it's owned by Amazon. People over here on the Google property are like, we're gonna get away with anything we want.
Yes, we're gonna out. I'm sure there's a huge meeting about making sure we have a better version of Hot Fuzz or whatever the hell Super Fuzz.
The kind of guy at his house who would run this thing through an AI touch up for 72 days of computational time.
Yeah,
and then upload it to YouTube. Picks YouTube because he knows that no one's gonna take it down quickly.
Yeah, it's more of it's the kind of thing you'd see over on Daily Motion. I'm a little surprised it's on YouTube, but also I don't know. I can't imagine there's too much of a freak out there about who's got the rights to this piece of shit.
Nobody's. The popularity rating on IMDb did not go up this week on Super Fuzz. Because of our watching.
No.
Well, and I want to get right to the first question I wrote down, and I underlined it like several times, and that's did we know before we sat down and watched this movie this week? Did we know that Ernest Borgnine is terrible? Like he's like not good at the job of being an actor.
I mean, he's good in the right movies. I like him.
Yeah. But I mean, he doesn't. There's not a whole ton of range with Borgnine. Like his character in Convoy, his character in the Poseidon Adventure,
Airwolf.
I think it's all Ernest Borgnine, and he's just like, Yeah. What do you want me to read? Sure, I'll read it.
He's a smart
Okay.
guy. And yeah. And there was some. I read a little bit of trivia about this. I didn't go too deep, but apparently some people were criticizing this film because they said it was just a bunch of older actors that they were all trying to give money to act and just give them one more job, and it wasn't even. It was nothing more than that. Just a way to employ all of his friends.
Yeah.
Directors.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
but like, I mean, you say that, but like Joanne Drew as Jack Donaghy's mom,
Right.
is she is acting circles around the rest of this cast.
With
Yeah.
what little she has to say,
Incredible.
yeah, she's pretty good. But they don't give her much. I mean, she's barely in there. Feels like anyway.
No, her whole job is to
Yeah.
wear red and to hold red.
Yeah, to
Like
hold
the-
red, to be red. Yeah.
What's my character's motivation? The color red.
Yeah.
Just go with it.
Let's get this fake Fletcher out of the way. So I don't know if I told you guys this, but the AI thing I used to use to produce Mario's thing, they banned the Mario voice because they can tell that
Right.
that it was
Yeah,
trained
that's
on Mario. So
Freaking Bowser.
I did this instead.
Red powder from a nuclear explosion gives a police officer superpowers as long as he doesn't see anything red. He is eventually framed for murder and is unsuccessfully executed by many different methods. Congratulations, everyone. This is one of the worst film sack movies in a decade.
There you go.
The fact I recognized this voice
don't know what any of this
before
is.
you
I don't know
even
what
tell
this
me that this is Brian Ibbett doing Tina's voice programmed into an AI. It's amazing.
Oh, okay.
That's 100% what that is.
I don't know what any of you are talking about. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, no, I didn't pick up on that at all.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, and it's
By the way,
because-
between Randy and I, one of us is joking.
Yeah.
Right.
Guess which one? I think it's you. Sorry. Go ahead, Randy.
sometimes it's like it's just a little bit. It's far enough off that your brain doesn't make the connection. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like there's just
Yeah.
like
Right.
something where it makes a decision. This
It's
computer
uncanny.
program
It's uncanny
decides-
valley, man. It's like that's
Yeah.
the audio version of that.
Red powder from
Red powder.
red powder. Right.
I freaking love it. It's a fine alternative.
But- By the way, while we were listening to that, I did pull up. There was a thing I remember that we were talking about Ernest Borgnine. And I remember him talking about his secret to longevity, and it came up. I think this was a frequent audio clip that they would play on, or a frequent video clip that they would play on the Soup. But that's 14 seconds long, Scott. If you want to play
Oh, hell yeah.
Ernest Borgnine's secret to longevity for our
Absolutely.
listeners.
What year do we know when this was recorded? Just curious. Do we know that?
I don't know.
Not that it
8
matters,
years
but-
ago, looks like it.
Okay. He died not too terribly long ago. All right, here we go. I'll play it.
You're 91 years old. You look fantastic. You look like you're in your late 60s, early 70s. What's the secret?
I don't dare tell you.
No meat. You don't eat meat.
I masturbate a lot.
Oh my gosh, really?
He did. He said what?
He
I
said
masturbate a lot.
yeah.
Oh, I thought he said he messed the bed a lot. I like his much
he-
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he whispers it in the interviewer's ear, not realizing that he's putting himself
The
really
mics.
close to the lav mic.
I love that, dude. Oh my gosh.
And I want it to be true.
Oh, I think it might be. I don't know. When you
Yeah,
whisper something like that, thinking nobody can hear you, usually, I don't know.
I just
yeah.
want to kind of go back to something I said a little while ago, which is like that Ernest Borgnine is like bad at this because he has some things that he definitely brings to the table. Like he can make a funny face, and my grandpa could make a really funny face.
He can mug. Yeah.
And like I can kind of see it. When Ernest Borgnine does it,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, oh, this reminds me of other people that I've known who I think are funny and like endearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like he definitely isn't never taking himself seriously, which this kind of movie needs, right?
Yeah.
Because our lead, I'm forgetting the name of the lead guy.
Vincent, hold on, what's his name?
Terrence
Terrence Hill.
Officer Speed.
Terrence Hill.
Officer Speed has the opposite problem. He seems like he's taking himself seriously while trying to look like he isn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like this really mixed look. Every time you see Officer Speed, you're like, so does he know he has powers? I just like you can't really understand his performance.
Well, Ibit made the perfect comparison in our Discord before, during the week when you mentioned The Room. So yes, this makes The Room look like Oppenheimer was the joke, but this is also parallel to The Room in very specific ways. This guy feels like Tommy Wiseau doing stuff. It feels like that kind of delivery. It feels like that kind of project.
I've got my own money invested in this pet project kind of thing.
Yeah. It 100% felt like that. And it's interesting that everybody brings up The Room, but nobody ever talks about Super Fuzz. And maybe that's just because it's that old,
Yeah, it's just no one's seen it.
Yeah, nobody's seen it.
Everybody,
exactly. The Room.
Everybody saw The Room back in like 2012 to 2014 for some reason.
Yeah, that was a
It
weird
would be
thing.
like making the joke with Troll 2. Like, a very select group of people have seen Troll 2, but everybody's seen The Room.
Yeah, and The Room came out in what, 03 or something. So it's it's just more poised for more play at a different time, whereas this wasn't. But I came out of this going, well, those two movies are basically the same. Like. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same story, but it's just there's the same quality here.
There's a little exactly. There's far less naked getting it on with the woman you hired to be your leading lady.
And when they got up on that, I mean, I laughed out loud, and I haven't laughed this heartily for a while. It was when they got the balloon going. That stupid effing balloon.
God.
Oh yeah.
That balloon was so bad.
It's really impressive that he had the foresight while sitting in the electric chair to ask for a piece of gum, and he happened to be given a piece of gum that weighs several hundred pounds,
large enough to expand into that shape with and even be supported by several seams all around it to support the weight of two.
Yeah,
I want to point something out before we get too far away from The Room. I just want to point out, for some reason, The Room settled at 24% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't understand. How can a quarter of professional movie reviewers give this a positive review?
Because those aren't. That's okay. So 3.6 on IMDb. That sounds right because that's user reviews. Wait, is that? How can that be, Randy? Hold on.
I don't know. It was lower. It was lower when we sacked it. I'm sure that it used to be lower, but it's gotten to 24% on Rotten Tomatoes.
They have to be kidding.
And
right? They have to be playing us or something. That's jacked.
Yeah, and Super Fuzz is at 14%, which, again, like that 1 out of 7 seemed to like the Super Fuzz.
Yeah. Tommy Wiseau, by the way, Tommy Wiseau's IMDb photo, he's got a real, who's the lead singer for Kiss? Can't think of his name all of a sudden. Paul Stanley.
Gene Simmons?
Paul Stanley. Yeah, if you guys go look at that photo of him, he looks like Paul Stanley today. Put him in the Paul Stanley biopic. Be all set to go.
Jeez.
Anyway, it's a weird little movie, and it is a thing I remember of my childhood. Now, here's the other thing. I remember everybody saying that this was like somehow really subversive and your parents wouldn't let you watch it kind of movie. And I don't remember why. Like, because there's nothing in here that's
I don't know nothing. There's no controversy. I mean, there's a guy who's selling dogs by the crate, but that's about the worst this thing ever gets.
Gambling in the back of a truck.
In my head, it was like, National Lampoon level, like R-rated, tomfoolery, whatever. And it's not that at all. This is like the most innocuous
like watching
thing.
The Three Stooges kind of thing.
Nowadays, I dare you to put a kid in front of this movie and they don't look at their phone the whole time. I dare you. Try to keep them off their phone while this movie's
even when you think it's going to be like, oh, okay, here's why this is maybe a little bit controversial, and they show the sign for the strip club that has parking until 5 a.m.
That's right. There are go-go girls scene.
There are go-go girls.
He goes to the strip club.
It's the most well-lit strip club ever.
Yeah, there's one woman. Yeah. There's one woman. She's about 50. She's not dancing so much as kind of like just like wiggling a little bit.
Let me frame it for you a little bit. Ernest Borgnine was talking about pleasing himself for longevity. Let me tell you something. In the 1980s, the only access our young minds had was the J.C. Penney catalog.
Yeah,
so I mean, when you compare it to that,
J.C. Penney. Oh man, what a sad statement that is that you just made.
Ooh, Mom, I'm going to take the bra section to my room for a little bit. I'll be right back.
Now, this is a bummer, though. This Joanne Drew lady that you mentioned, Randy, She's got a big career, 1922 to 96.
Rose LaBouche.
Yeah, she worked for a long time in Hollywood, all sorts of stuff like All the King's Men, Red River, 7-Eleven, Ocean Drive. These are old movies, but really well-regarded 40s and 50s films. This is her last thing she did. She's I'm going out Raul Julia style in the worst movie I can find.
Gene Hackman style.
Yep. See you later, Mooseport. I'm done. But
again, if you haven't seen this movie, but you have seen 30 Rock, she is the template for Jack Donaghy's mom in 30 Rock. Like the thing they based the whole character on.
That's interesting.
This character in this movie, it's kind of amazing.
She's and she played a lot of that sort of. I don't know. I guess there are other actresses doing this too, but very vampy, very important sort of acting. It's hard to explain. It's a thing of the 50s. I can't think even who used to do it, like Joanne Woodward maybe, or somebody who's just very, yes, bring me my bags, sir, my good man. Like a lot of that kind of bullshit. That's kind of her gig. And she did it again here with her LaBouche or whatever her name was. What was it?
LaBouche.
Yeah, Rosie LaBouche. What a stupid name.
Nah.
No.
That's really stupid.
It's not even like it's, usually you've got these things. It's like, oh, okay, how about have an officer named Speed? They're not even clever, obvious puns. Not even clever. We've got an opportunity to just go really over the top with a character name, and the best they come up with is Speed and LaBouche.
You have Speed and Dunlop are the two cops. You have Rosie LaBouche is the strange Hollywood actress.
Yeah.
You have the only bad guy is named Tony Torpedo.
Tony Torpedo, right?
And then you have and then you have literally the Three Stooges. I'm not kidding. If you haven't seen this movie, you cannot understand how completely this insert inserts the Three Stooges into the movie.
Yeah.
Wild.
And they're very Italian.
Go hit him with a guitar.
Yeah. Well, that guy, the main guy is always he was very like, listen here, see, he was doing that whole thing. But his one guy was like, what you wanted me to do next, boss? Like he was just like the most Italian stereotype you've ever heard. And I'm pretty sure that maybe was just him. Like, I don't think he was
It also was very, like, ADR was so, I don't know if there was anything where you actually heard the original audio from the film. It feels like it was all ADR over the top of things.
And very low quality, by the way. Not
very
good.
low quality, not matching up mouth movements, anything like that. And so I imagine it was like, can you come in and maybe just do something that sounds a little bit more Italian? Like babada boobada kind of stuff.
Babada boobada.
But yeah, not only that,
he's Italian, so he wouldn't say it like that if it was.
Maybe
Seth Rogen might say something like that.
Maybe Dunaway can tell us, but was the YouTube sound quality any better? Because the stuff on Prime
everything was better. Yeah, everything was better on the YouTube version. Now, of course, Randy was joking about the AI and stuff. I really think they had some kind of master copy or something from somewhere that in somebody's archive and made it a beautiful copy. Maybe there's a Blu-ray for it. I don't know. Somebody loves this movie out there somewhere. Actually, a lot of people love this movie for weird reasons.
Was it ever on? It may have been on DVD at some point, and that's a pretty decent DVD. You could do DVD upscale on the output or something. So
but the sound was good. It was full widescreen. You could see you could see everything. Did it really make the movie better? Not really, but at least it was more tolerable. Maybe.
Yeah, the quality always improves the experience, but it's not going to change the acting or the story.
The sound quality is what's important here, because like it doesn't really matter if you're seeing clearly what you're seeing. Because like
I'm gonna disagree. I think it does.
This movie doesn't depend on visual gags. For some reason, this movie depends entirely on this person, this lead actor who between sounding Italian and sounding German, right? What's in between Italy and Germany? Austria. He comes out sounding Austrian.
Yeah.
And so there's this quality to him where you're like, oh, it's like a young Schwarzenegger every now and then,
Yeah, I guess I kind of see that. It's because it isn't quite, it's like a very non-specific accent. And maybe that's because it's Austrian, right? It's it just doesn't feel right either way, in either direction.
Like early Arnold stuff where it just sounded so bad. And then later I don't know if we just got used to it or he got better at delivering it or whatever, but we were okay with it later. No,
the movie never acknowledges it. It just, it pretends like he's supposed to be he's fresh out of he's a rookie.
Yeah.
Fresh out of the police academy.
Out of the
And
academy, and first assignment is to go investigate the
he's
Native
supposed to go.
American.
The Native Americans have a parking ticket. That's the whole
Which
setup.
which you can only get to by boat, apparently.
Yeah.
You have to have a parking ticket. So how do they get
with Florida Gators? So let's set up the story here. So you got to go. He's out delivering parking tickets to some Native Americans who live in the swamp. I don't know how they got a parking ticket. I guess whatever. The point
they
is,
put their car on one of those hydrofoils and drive it to the coast, and then
And NASA is doing an experiment with bombarding the planet with some kind of plutonium red gamma something rays.
You've already gotten so much more out of this film than I did.
I'm like, we'll see the quality. I can see it. I can see it and hear it.
Yeah, apparently the YouTube. That was the whole thing. The problem.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
So, but yeah, and I was like, okay, this is where we're starting with. That's to explain his superpowers. This is actually a better origin story than some superheroes I've seen.
Oh, name one.
Name one, yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Shazam. Yeah.
Maybe if you ended in the Amazon where your father died because he was working with your mom and discovering spiders or whatever it was. Yeah.
So somehow the government had evacuated the natives that were living in this area, but
we're very unhappy.
The agent of the government wasn't told.
Right. He waxed through the local police force because it was top secret. They kept trying to explain their own reasoning right in the movie, and it was kind of hilarious. How was I supposed to know? That was one of my favorites of Ernest Borgnine when they were like, it's top secret, didn't you know? How was I supposed to know? It's top secret.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
He yelled a lot.
Troopers.
He yelled so much. He was so I mean, I know we're used to that from him. If you want to see his best performance, I think it was in SpongeBob toward the end when he was doing
sure.
Seaweed Man or whatever the hell the name was. I don't remember the name.
Oh, that was so good.
Barnacle Boy and whatever it was. He was fantastic.
I wonder if he got that job before or after his longevity talk.
By the looks of that video, I'd say during.
Okay. During, probably.
Right. So what we're saying is, Barnacle or Mermaid Man, that was it. Mermaid Man was constantly jacking it on the set of SpongeBob.
I'm trying to live longer. Get out of here.
Yeah. Do you think they said, hey, Ernest, do you mind washing your hands before you step in the booth and handle the microphone to do the voiceover work, please?
Where have you been? I'm on the website. It says I need money. You got $50? Give me $50.
But go step in the bathroom and live longer.
His whole role was to be skeptical. That was his whole role, right? It's like, yeah, I'm not believing none of this. You ain't got powers.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I don't know if
he's also trying to convince.
I don't know if I brought it up before. I think I have maybe with other stuff, but just do yourselves a favor, everybody. Seek out his mid 90s documentary series that is Ernest Borgnine on the road in the Midwest. And it's just him in an RV driving it. And these documentaries drive around and he just visits people and shakes their hand and talks to them about his movies and this. It is one of the weirdest, cathartic, weird little things you'll ever find. It's on YouTube or something. I don't know. I don't even know what it's called, but it's Ernest Borgnine on the road. Do yourselves a favor. Sorry, you were saying something and I cut you off.
Yeah, but even after you talk about his role in the film is to be the skeptic, is to be I don't think you've got these powers. But then once he does finally see that, oh yeah, okay, he does have powers, he still is like, yeah, don't show anybody, don't do this in front of people, don't do anything. Like it's like, you guys are becoming the most loved cops on the force because you're seeing crimes before they are, as they're getting committed. Hey, a little Minority Report there, Brian. But spotting gambling going on. That gambling going on in the truck is the funniest thing because all I can visualize is before they open the truck, people are bouncing off the walls and hitting the floor.
That is so
chips
improbable.
And cards are going everywhere.
That is such a freaking 70s idea that a bunch of elderly retired people are in the back of a moving freaking semi truck doing. You can't. It'd be impossible.
No, you can't do it. You can't do that. Yeah. Not even close. And also, lest we forget, I know we've been giving Ernest Borgnine kind of a hard time for being one note. Guy won a Best Actor Oscar in 1956 for his role in Marty. So that dude had a statue, man.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine.
I need to go back and look at that.
He masturbated with it.
Understand, what if he's playing a character who's mute and he won on pure gestures? I don't know.
What if he uses that to
But he polishes that statue all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
My favorite performance was the parts when he was when he was stopping the bank robbery and they had him spread eagle on the. He had to spread himself there as he was held hostage.
Yeah.
And oh my God, the way he was doing it, he was.
Not a very flattering pose.
He was leaning way too. He was putting the butt way too far out there for put your hands up.
You joked in your intro about the police station being way like on the 3rd or 4th floor. Why was the bank? How is the bank on like the 8th floor of a building?
Yeah, right.
What was that all about?
How was the execution chamber of a prison?
Yeah,
up several floors. I don't understand.
That's true.
Yeah, that was weird. All of the locations were weird. Nothing felt right. You know, maybe the road, the roads and the streets, okay, fine. But anytime they had a headquarters or a place to go, it was all wrong.
I actually like that because it felt immediately when I was watching this, I was like, wow, I'm getting to see real street people. Those background actors are not background actors. They set up their camera one day in 1979. And just people walking down the street were like, "What's going on?" And you get to see that. And
those were probably patrons at the saddest strip club in Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, can we go back to the execution chamber for a second? Are we to believe that these innocent people who were executing him because they thought he killed somebody, that he turned the electricity on them to kill them back for that?
I don't know.
Right.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah. I think it's funnier. It's funnier if we don't explore it too deeply. and I'm really serious about this because this movie establishes one of the best superhero rules ever, and then breaks the rule so many times that it's like you could just hate it. You could throw your phone at the freaking television if you get too hung up on that. When he sees red, he loses his powers. That rule
or when red is just
great.
On his feet, when he doesn't look down at the boa at his feet, but it's still affecting him because it's something red. And he's on it. By the way, he was on an airplane for quite a while that had big red stripes.
Stripes on it. The whole plane. And how does this movie not? Maybe the director was colorblind. I have considered. I think that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Hey, can you find me a plane that does not have a red stripe on it?
I did like that plane though. That plane was a perfect. That plane was a perfect prop because they needed a stuntman to stand on the back of it.
So they walked around and they found a plane with a platform on it.
Basically,
yeah. Plus, you gotta. Here's the problem when you say a color does a thing. This is also my problem with Superman or anyone else, or not Superman. He does gold, yellow sun.
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern is every the RGB, red, green, blue. That's in every spectrum. It's all a mix, and so you would always have some red, always have some green. You'd never not have the things. Yellow would always be present and always be screwing with Green Lantern, right?
Sure.
So when you do that, it just comes from a place of like, I don't know how stuff works, so we'll just make it red. That really bugs me. I don't like it
I think actually, I think what we watched was the dying moments from Officer Speed, because I think he's actually dead out there in the bayou somewhere, dying because
so the rest of the movie after he gets bombed.
Yes,
is his final fantasy he has as he dies.
Yes.
Okay?
Interesting. I looked over at Tina. So when he,
you still here?
I kind of did. Yeah, but when he goes to save to catch Ernest Borgnine, runs into the field, and Ernest Borgnine apparently falls fast enough and hard enough with enough force to push them through the earth
to China.
To China. Before any of that, when they were looking down, I was like, oh my God, if they killed the two of them, this all of a sudden is the best movie I've ever seen.
Right.
Imagine if
because they finally figured out a way to surprise me with this stupid thing.
Right. Imagine if the red boa prevented him from having powers, and Ernest Borgnine's force hitting him just made a small crater, just a little bit of a crater, and their two destroyed bodies are in the middle of the crater.
Terminal velocity,
roll
dead
credits.
Bodies, and it's Super Trooper.
Super Pooper.
Dude, I'd be so into that. Gosh dang it. That's a brilliant idea.
It just becomes the best movie ever.
Yeah, I would be really into that. That's freaking great. I had it handy too. I was just going to play it. Where is it? Oh, shoot. I've been meaning to play this the whole damn time. Here it is. Is this how bad the sound was? Ugh.
Yeah.
Is
But, you know,
is there a name for that? I would like to know. I looked all over. I looked all over for like there to be an industry term for when you do a drum beat, but it's
Yeah, I
a
mean, it's like
sung
it's what do
lyric.
they call like a hi-hat or not a hi-hat? They call like a oh, what's the give me a
Oh, but
Um,
drum. Oh shit! What's that called?
yeah, there's a term for that.
Drum. It's got. Oh my gosh! What's that called? Bump.
Rim
Right.
shot.
Rim shot.
Thank you.
Jeez.
So it's basically a vocal rim shot.
Yeah.
Right. And like I'm sure I've seen and heard it before. Right? Like this isn't the only time you've ever seen a joke end over and over and over with the same sort of sound or
I'm
whatever.
sure that it is a familiar thing. I couldn't think of what it is, but there is a very familiar thing.
Yeah.
And can't think of another example of it, but absolutely we've seen something like that before.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the opening credits though. Even though the song was annoying, I immediately was like, "Oh,
Wait,
this sounds
wait,
very
just a minute. Hold on. Hold on.
The
I
weird
I
like
need
comic book
everyone's
thing.
honest opinion about the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Okay.
No, not the opening credits. So
the opening credit.
when
You enjoyed the
halftone,
weird halftone, pink and
Yes.
black checkerboard pattern showing you scenes from the movie you're about to watch.
Yeah.
yes,
With that music in the background.
Yeah, you like that.
did because of the artistry that had to go into that. Now it's just a freaking filter in our modern day society, right? You just go do this dumbass filter. That took somebody whole work, and I was impressed.
I mean,
impressed.
for this,
Just because something takes somebody a long time to do doesn't make it good.
He was impressed. I was impressed.
I'll say this: it was a thing that doing that in the late '70s for your movie to come out in 1980s probably a lot harder than I think it is, and so in that way, I'll give him some credit. But it just gave me a headache and made me want to die. I didn't like it.
Like you could gaffer tape a camera to the top of a police car and just drive through the streets of Miami and roll your credits over that just fine. That would have been a fine intro. Play the music, sure, whatever.
Oh, yeah, or you could that thing.
You could definitely tell.
You could do the thing the Naked Gun did, only more, like before,
Oh, the Naked Gun thing was great. Where the police car goes through the car wash and it's out in space.
Right, but just like you
like
don't have to have that. You just have it drive around. It doesn't have to be funny, right? It could just be.
That's what I mean. Yeah, have it where you see the siren or the flashing lights, which are red, by the way. But again, bad choice for a cop.
Yeah.
But driving around through the streets of Miami, nighttime, daytime, whatever, and it's like, oh, okay, we're setting up for a comedy cop film. Cool.
Yeah.
But that weird checkerboard paint job filter.
I liked it, and maybe it's just because I appreciated the work.
And how much effort does it take just to take the video from the film and just put a filter? I mean, obviously, it's not a filter.
Yeah, that's like I said, it's so easy now.
A Final Cut thing now, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they
in
didn't
1979, when they're making
painstakingly paint each frame of film to get it back.
I'd be very
they definitely
curious
were
about
doing
it.
some things.
I'd actually be curious about what technique they use because I couldn't even tell. Really don't know. I don't know how they
It's
did
got to
it.
be a projection technique.
Maybe.
They're projecting it
That's what I'm
through
thinking,
something and then filming the projection.
Probably.
Well,
that makes sense, but it has the effect I think they were aiming for. But it's just in retrospect, maybe do something else.
I think for this movie, I was kind of impressed with a couple of things. I was impressed somewhat by the stunts. Not all the stunts were great, but for the time, it was pretty impressive. Especially that one where where he was doing the mental mind movement of the moving truck to really stick it to that guy who was illegally parking.
Yeah, right. And
that was kind of cool. How he pushed it into the parking spot,
basically parallel parking it into the tiny spot.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty neat.
I am very interested in this guy's powers.
Right.
I'm way more interested in this guy's powers than the movie is, and that's that's a dangerous place to be because you can't keep me constantly entertained by making me ask questions like, well, why didn't he just do this or that? You know what I'm saying? Like at some point, I give up on you. Because you're not thinking about all of this as much as I am, movie maker.
Did the stadium? Because at first I was like, "Oh shit, this guy is all powerful. He just made an entire stadium full of people disappear." But then I'm like, no, maybe he's just messing with her mind and his mind.
Yeah.
but then I'm like, no, he saw the guy with the red shirt, and that comes back later, and yeah.
Any
it was-
positivity I have for the
she saw
movie,
it, too.
yeah,
The fact that
exactly.
she saw it is a different thing.
Yeah, that tells you something else. But the whole, it's all pigs. It's all lipstick on a pig here at this point. This movie's that
It
bad.
really is. Would you all agree, though, that his best power is doing two little hang loose things with his hands? So
That
he's
was
got his
so
pinky and his
cool.
thumb, and
Yeah,
he
he was
can
doing
calling all cars by doing little pinky to thumb business.
Yeah,
there.
he was doing so very 80s. So because like you want to extend your antenna. So he's doing the
Right.
universal hand gesture for talking on the phone, right, with his pinky and his
Right.
thumb.
Yeah.
But then he connects them together and hooks into the plane's electrical equipment, I guess.
Yes, sure.
Calling
Okay.
all cars.
Yeah,
and,
I still haven't.
that was
I
dumb.
still haven't got my eyes back in their original position because they rolled so hard. Because that was really, really freaking dumb.
By
really
that
bad.
point in time, I had up until that point in time, they kind of straddled a little bit of, riding along with superhero powers.
It's a Superman.
and,
Yeah, I mean, it's basically
Yeah.
Superman, right? The running
Yeah.
at super speed, the not hurting yourself when the dummy you've made of yourself goes out of a window through a wall.
Yeah.
So he gets super speed. He gets the
Sure.
ability to fly. He
Right.
gets telekinesis.
Reaction, telekinesis,
we
like
talked about
super
him-
reaction time with
Yeah.
the bullet, catching the bullets into the gun.
We talked about how he became a precog. That's different than telekinesis.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
And
X-ray vision.
he hypnotizes somebody.
Yeah,
So
well,
that's like,
yeah, little Me Too action there with that. Tina was not
Yeah.
like fine with that business.
Yeah.
yeah,
That wasn't good. That was kind of nasty. I mean, I don't know, like at a different time and everything, but also,
Obviously, yeah, no,
also
that- yeah.
somebody who worked on everybody that worked on this film, has no idea how the court systems work because you don't
Right.
have a trial that quick. B, it's a capital murder case, and C, the judge doesn't like slam his gavel down and say you're dying. See ya, you're going to be executed. And they also don't do it the next week either. Like all that stuff was
Right.
bullshit.
No. They did it 4 times in the next few days.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're on his 4th attempt to get killed, while Ernest Borgnine is sitting at the bottom of the ocean, alive.
Apparently in like a stasis, like a
Yeah.
hyperbaric chamber in that bottom of
Yeah.
that boat.
Yeah, it was dumb. Also, the slap fight, that was dumb. Very dumb. The slap fight. I hated that. I recorded some of it, but it's very, very stupid. Yeah, I don't.
It definitely provided a lot of fodder for you to pull quotes. Like there are some.
Oh, I know. I can't
ridiculous
wait for the
quotes.
audio. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some
Can't you, though?
There's some winners in there, but there's a lot of it is just so punctuated with that same song. Like at some point, I don't care what kind of filmmaker you are, you're making your movie and you're using the same song 50 times. You got to have regrets, man.
Did he edit it? I mean, he had total control. Come on, this guy was at this point in time. I think this director was capable of, doing wherever he basically wanted to.
Oh yeah, this is definitely
as far as within the budget of this movie.
Yeah, but why would you
so,
want to do that? You know what I mean? Like, why would you want to have this song?
I know it's kind of interesting because I tried to frame it with what we were seeing like on TV. I'm sure he was aware of Wonder Woman, and every time Wonder Woman kind of started to use her powers, she'd always have to do the little spin and the music would play, and that's when you knew that the high drama was coming on with the action. So I just tried to frame it in that and thought, that wasn't out of line, maybe a little overused. Okay, a lot overused.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot overused.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much. There were 8 songs on the soundtrack apparently, and they just used one. They only used one ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure he had final approval, right? I mean, this director definitely had final approval over this. This is nothing but a bunch of friends. And,
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah! If he didn't, I'd be
People he'd
surprised.
worked with for sure.
Yeah. Now that guy, the Terrence Hill guy, he's a good-looking dude. All right, I will give him
loved
that.
it. Great
Yeah.
smile.
At this time, he's pretty good looking.
The smile is. How many years have ravished him at this point, Randy?
Well, he's still alive. He's still around.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Years have ravaged him. Yeah.
Looks like 84. He's
Yeah.
84.
Yeah, he's a lot older now.
Yeah.
But for a hot minute there, blue eyes, blonde hair, looking cool.
Great.
And then he opened his
Great
mouth.
smile, like
Opened his mouth, and you went, "Oh, never mind. Don't talk. Don't say words."
Yeah, well, again, you have to forgive the guy. English is his 3rd language. He grew up speaking Italian natively and then German because his parents moved the family to Germany when he was a kid. And so like you can understand, right? Like
I like
again, Schwarzenegger's a great model for this. You have, like you have to learn the language, but he's being asked to do too much.
Yeah.
This is way outside of his comfort zone.
He went on to do some other stuff too that wasn't quite as shitty,
Yeah, I liked his performance in this. I mean, it was light and fun, and I always kept it was exactly what it was supposed to be, just a silly freaking comedy that
A little
was light fare. That just
zany romp is what it was.
Yeah. You guys want to see an amazing poster that was made for this? I don't even know what country this is.
Oh gosh, yes.
You guys are going to lose your shit. Hold on a second.
Tell me it's painted by Drew Struzan, and we've got a deal.
I wish it was, dude. I wish this was what that was, but I don't know where this is, what language that is. But look at that.
I love it.
Look at that thing. Isn't that great?
That's
The
great.
font
It's a
work
spoiler
always-
for the last minute of the film.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. Looks like Michael Jackson almost. He's kind of like a Michael
Yeah, it
Jackson.
kind of does.
Michael Jackson crossed with John Travolta.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
little bit.
that's good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, did you guys? I'm sorry to derail us, but did you guys hear they're making a face? It's green lit. They're doing a Face Off 2. Face Off 2's happening.
Yeah.
What the frick, dude? I'm both
Face Off
excited
as well.
and terrified at the same time.
Face offs.
Yeah,
Right.
they're just gonna let their faces sag off, and that'll be the whole movie. That'll be great.
Sag off.
Sag off, sag on. The sagger. Anyway, any other burning
I'll let you
thoughts?
finish that one.
Yeah, thank you. Any other burning thoughts before we move on to our clips section of the show? Anybody got anything?
I hope you captured her pronunciation of the appliance quizzing art.
Oh, absolutely
that was
did.
good.
That was great.
Cuisinart.
No need to take a second take there, lady. Just go ahead and say your first bad take.
Captain has sweaty pits, eating flower petals for some reason. Like he ate everything, but the weird things like the whipped raw egg whites, the flower petals, selling dogs by the
We did
crate.
notice the flower petal eating, but I mean, it wasn't outrageous. It was just like, but why? You just question, right? It wasn't like,
oh yeah,
it didn't have anything to do with his power.
I mean, that whole scene, right? Because he's eating flower petals, munching them like popcorn, while he makes the Three Stooges guys do a little can dance for some reason, and then basically watches them back into another car so he can arrest them.
Yeah. Yeah, all of that stuff was ridiculous.
I do not understand why you would do conventional fighting if you had those powers. Like, he's just like messing around fighting people when you just like end it. You can end it in so many ways. You could drop the house on them or whatever.
It becomes a very different movie if he just kind of waves his hands and they all just like drop to the ground, right?
Yeah.
Like
Right, they all explode.
This is kind of the answer. This is kind of the answer to what if someone who is unmotivated suddenly received uncreative as well suddenly received superhero powers because he doesn't aspire to anything beyond his day job, right? Or
I bet you're going to be. I
scene
bet you're going to
insane.
finish that with somebody so uninspired and unmotivated created a movie. That's how
Yeah,
I bet you.
That too. That is a superpower. That is a superpower. But it's an uninspired look at what you might do with your superpowers if you had them. It's
Sure,
just, you know,
sure.
I'd futz around.
And I actually feel like that's the great summary. The substance of the film is in conflict with the direction. You know, like you're constantly like, ooh, this is interesting, but then the filmmakers themselves are like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
Yeah.
Look away.
It's not interesting at all. You think it is, it isn't.
Now, I think we mentioned Mark Lawrence briefly earlier, who is the bad guy here. He's going to show up a couple more times and already has once in some 007 stuff. The Man with the Golden Gun and Diamonds Are Forever. So
yeah, I felt like I've seen him around. Seen him in other stuff.
Yeah, he's been around in tons of stuff.
Yeah,
tons of stuff.
Him and
From Dust to Dawn we watched here.
Who's the other guy? Is it Tony Torpedo? No,
Tony Torpedo. That's who I was talking.
That's you're talking about Mark Lawrence.
We've seen in a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
There's another guy, the
chief
chief of police guy, the guy that seemed to be in charge of everything. I felt like I'd seen him, or at least heard his voice before. I could not place it, and I never really. I'm still not sure who he is because he's not a main credit and has no IMDb shit in there. So
I don't know, but I love the guy Herb Goldstein. Perfect name, by the way. That's his real name. He was he's the guy on the street that tells that keeps running into him, and he's the one who tells our hero that he's allergic to red or whatever you want to say. What was it? Sylvius. That's who was being chased. Apparently, had sold the Tony Torpedo a Chihuahua. They said could talk or something. I know too much about this plot. I told you this what I do when I go to sleep. I just think about plots.
Amazing. Yeah.
I understand.
Right.
I don't blame you. Real quick here, do you guys know? I guess he worked with that director a ton. Terrence Hill did, and he's got a bunch of these looking things. Like here's one called, let's see, "Who Finds a Friend Finds a Treasure."
That's his buddy. He works with a lot.
Yeah.
Bud Spencer, and they do a couple of cop movies together too. I think.
Yeah, I think this was his whole thing. His whole gig was to
right. It was kind of like who were the two guys who did like the road to, was that Sinatra and Crosby or something? It was, or it was Bing Crosby and not Sinatra, but they did the road to Rio and the road to Cairo and stuff like that. The stuff that they make fun of on Family Guy all the time with Stewie and Brian.
This cover's great because there's no way you would not just live at your chiropractor's if you did this with your arm. That guy holding up his
I know he holds up the weight. Bud Spencer's character on this poster is holding up the weight of the hammocks there.
Why would you do that? That's just
a physical impossibility.
He has the superpowers. He is the superpower.
Oh, good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to go ahead and say we should never see this.
I'm watching it today.
No, I don't.
Okay. Hope you find a really good YouTube quality.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? This is actually reviewed pretty well. 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb.
Terrence Hill is likable, and Sergio Corbucci does, he knows his audience.
Oh, there's a whole series, a collection. Okay, you're right. There's a whole 9 DVD collection of these.
Yeah,
I thought it was maybe one or
these
two. I didn't realize it was like a ton of them like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a whole. Hey, Dunaway, I got a new goal for you for your collection. Look at this shit, dude. Look at this stack I'm going to put in here. This is the full collection of all of those hammocks.
Oh, look at that. The collector's box. That actually looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a lot of dumb fun. You could watch it each week on Saturdays.
Apparently this whole hammock, two of them in a hammock thing, that the movie you posted is so popular they use it as the video, the image for the top of the box.
What if the entire box set is just these two guys in hammocks? Like beginning to end, every single part.
Yeah.
By the way, my favorite 12-year-old version of this that I think is funny only because my brain is 12 years old is when you take the entire set of DVDs for the X-Files collection and you can mix them up so it says Sex Life. And you got a giant X for the yeah. I used to do that all the time. Like some kind of
that's what David Duchovny was thinking about the whole time.
Oh yeah, baby.
Sure he was.
X-Files fornication. All right. Let's do some clips here. We got some clips. And there's some good ones in here, as you guys alluded to before. Let's start with this one with Rosie LaBouche.
I'm Rosie LaBouche.
I'm Rosie LaBouche.
Rosie LaBouche, suck it, baby.
Here's more beans.
More beans.
All right, more beans. Again, the audio transfer on Prime is terrible. I apologize. It's all shit.
You know who else Rosie LaBouche reminds me of? She reminds me of Archer's mom.
Jessica Walters.
Yeah, I love her. She died. That's sad.
Yeah, the late great Jessica Walters.
She was amazing, dude. She's so good.
Yeah.
Here's Ernest Borgnine letting you know he's here.
Well, how was I to know that, Chief? I mean, you yourself just said it was top secret.
That right there is every line he ever delivers.
Right.
Yep.
And the backing music.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, the backing music was almost as bad as the one they played all the time. It was all very bad.
It's like porno, like 70s porno music.
So I really don't know what you mean when you say 70s porno music.
Yeah, you do.
Would you like me to find a clip?
Somehow I know precisely what you mean.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's weird. You know exactly. Let's see. You know what? I'll play some for us. I have some. Let's see. Where is it here? How about this? Whoops. There we go. Let me skip ahead a little. That's from an album called Getting Off.
I think I've got that too. Yeah.
Ernest Borgnine listens to that all day.
The seductive sounds of 70s adult cinema, it says on that album.
This is basically what can we do with a keyboard that is going to be so distracting?
Mm-hmm.
It's amateur yacht rock. Yeah?
Kind of.
Right. I love the fact that you're zooming in on this guy's wedgie.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's amazing.
He has more fabric in his butt than around it.
What is this from? This isn't from the movie, is it?
It's from what's his
Oh,
face's
the girl.
IMDb.
It's the girl's IMDb.
It's from the girls.
Yeah.
Julie Gordon is that's her IMDb photo.
She's terrible, by the way. I don't want to look. I'm not trying to besmirch anyone personally, but she's very, very bad in this.
I thought she was fun.
No,
that's Evelyn, Borgnine's niece.
I don't want to have a husband who is using his powers all the time.
Yeah, that was better than her delivery.
That big reveal at the end. Did you not just die laughing when she had red hair?
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here!
I did not die laughing.
Dunaway, you are so forgiving of movies like this. I love that about you.
Yeah. How can you? Yeah.
I love it.
You know what? The end of the movie though skips over the 2 weeks it takes them to get home from China. Back in 1979.
And this is a
movie
movie
just go
that
back
does
through the tunnel.
The straight through tunnel that just goes through the core of the earth.
Through a tunnel that goes through the magma core and everything.
Through the magma. The magma.
Oh my God!
By the way,
this is the prequel to Kong Godzilla Monster
that's
Island because this is the creation, the access tunnel for the Hollow Earth.
Oh yeah,
this is how it happens.
And Core, the movie Core from 2003.
So this is yet another sequel to Oppenheimer.
Oh, good,
correct,
fantastic. It's all connected to Oppenheimer at the end. All right, let's see. We also have. Let's see. Where the hell did my thing go? Okay, here we go. Here's some more inner dialogue, poorly spoken by our main actor.
I could hardly believe it. I got the cover back into place just by thinking about it. But then I realized something incredible, something extraordinary had happened to me.
Yeah, and then we'd really
try new fitness bars from
the
music. It's definitely like a 70s Nutri-Grain bar commercial music or something.
And if you were there, you were hearing this a lot. Yeah. I mean, that happened constantly.
Yes.
The poor saxophone.
The whole damn movie.
Yep.
The poor saxophone, man. It just
Yeah.
Just people, they're always abusing it.
Yeah, I was watching
every decade.
watching some old Letterman. Richie Sambora was on, or not Richie Sambora. Is it Richie Sambora? Anyway, the famous sax guy.
Saxophone guy.
Can't think of his name.
You're talking about like Clarence Clemens, maybe?
No,
or,
was this Sam?
Oh, you're no, you're talking about
Sanborn.
Yes.
David
Sanborn.
David Sanborn. Thank you.
David Sanborn. Yes.
He was on Letterman all the time. So would sit in with the band and stuff, and he's really good. And they're playing, some cool music and stuff. And it just hit me. I'm like, we just don't do it anymore. Just no more sax. Just nobody does it.
It's just such a strong instrument. It just makes such a statement. It's either got to be the headliner or it just doesn't exist.
Or the shirtless guy in a vampire movie, and that's it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It can't sit in the background. A saxophone demands the front of the stage when you hear it.
I played the saxophone in middle school.
You did?
For me, John Hamm with a long hair wig has ruined the saxophone permanently and forever.
That Saturday Night Live skit. Oh my God.
Yeah. I just don't think it's gonna, like a lot of stuff comes back, synth sounds come back, and things come back. But I don't think the sax. I think we're done.
Challenge accepted. I can't wait for the sax.
It's coming back. It will come back.
When? We're waiting forever here. I think because it all fell out of favor like mid '90s, and we have not seen it since. Man, it's just not there. So if it comes back, I will eat my words and a hat while I'm at it. But right now,
all right,
and you got to do it while listening to saxophone music.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Well, gotta eat a little saxophone hat.
Here's your Super again.
Super.
All right, that's all I'm playing of that. Freaking
Super Snoopers.
Here is
Super.
Oh, everyone wanted to talk about Rosie LaBouche.
Wouldn't stop talking about Rosie LaBouche.
Yeah, Rosie LaBouche.
Oh my God. Was it like now that it's just hitting me? Is this movie brilliant because Rosie is red and red is his kryptonite? Oh man!
Yeah. And she has red pubic hair. That's the name of the character.
Rosie LaBouche.
Oh my gosh! Yes. It all came together at the last second here. Here's Borgnine laughing,
just like Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah, just like every time. That's how he stays so young. Listen to him laughing. That is Borgnine as hell. Here's this vibe of music, a little slightly different. Oh
yeah,
I kind of like it.
I
George
like it.
Benson is about to come on and tell
I
us
like
about the lady getting down at the club.
Yeah, I kind of like that one. It was all right. Perv, I wrote.
I was just thinking how much I'd like to be alone with you right now.
Pervert. So wait, was she didn't seem freaked out enough that the entire stadium full of baseball fans disappeared. That was weird.
Not nearly enough. Like, oh my God, what happened? Are all those people dead?
Yeah.
Right.
It was a football game, right?
Was it football?
Yeah, it was at the Orange Bowl. It was at the Orange Bowl in Florida.
The Hurricanes?
No, I didn't even notice.
Somebody?
It could have been anything. Could have been freaking.
It wasn't the Dolphins. I was looking. There were a couple people wearing Dolphins colors, but somebody's shirt said Hurricanes or something like that.
Yeah.
How do you guys should be scared now? Utah's getting an NHL team. We're gonna dominate.
Cool.
No, we're not.
The response to that was underwhelming.
We're not gonna dominate anything. I don't think the Coyotes are already any good, so I don't know why they'd be any better here.
We're gonna call them the Yotes.
The Yotes.
Utah
Yotes.
Utah Yotes.
I like it. Sign me up. Okay, you lose sound. I found a great you lose sound. I might use this for TMS, like contest losers and stuff. Check it out. It's pretty good. And that was when he jumped out. He was going to show everybody how he could jump out of the window and survive. And that time there was red or whatever, so he couldn't.
Yeah.
He almost died or should have died. What the hell happened there?
Should have died.
Yeah. But instead they're like,
every bone in his body
had super healing.
Right. They took him to the hospital and he was no longer seeing red once he woke up.
Right.
And so so the fact that he didn't die meant that he was just alive enough for his superpowers to kick in and heal him.
Now, do I remember this wrong, or did he get out of his cast without opening the cast? Or do I?
Yes. He can barely turn into. He's Otto. He just went and just.
Otto.
I think
he burst out the back.
I think he burst out the back of it and then laid it back down on the.
You mean Odo or Otto? Which
Odo? Did I say Otto?
You said Otto.
Yeah, it's good.
I like it.
I meant.
I knew what you meant.
Close enough. You got in there.
No, I knew what you meant. It's like the English language. Sometimes you don't need to have it explained. It's fine.
Odo.
This is the guy getting his finger stuck in the door.
What's the matter?
My fingers.
What about your fingers?
They're stuck in his door.
That's
stuck in this door. Visual gag.
That would have been such a funnier gag if our lead character had been speaking like English that we understood.
Yeah.
You know, like if he'd been like a known comedic actor,
might have worked.
You know?
Yeah. Picture like, I don't know, Steve Martin around the jerk time or so.
Oh yeah.
He hates these cans.
He could have done that. I gotta watch that documentary. I keep hearing such good things about it. It's Apple TV Plus.
It's good. Yeah, the Steve documentary in 2 parts. I'm 2/3 of the way through the first one. I'm taking in small bites and I'm just loving it.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah. This was very stupid. I wrote.
Right, left, right, left, right, left, right.
This goes on for a while, by the way.
Yeah.
That is the sound of him making people punch each other in a circle.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Like a bunch of Three Stooges.
Yeah.
That is the sound of a movie trying to make it to the 1 hour and 27-minute runtime required to be a motion picture.
That's right. Is there a limit? Is that a thing? That's a thing, right?
Yeah. Otherwise it's a short.
It's a short.
Yeah, 90 minutes is there.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually like how this ended too, because this went old school, even though this is 1980. It went like how movies used to be like earlier than the 70s, where things would have long credits in the opening, and then at the end it would just like freeze frame and you're just out.
Yeah. I played that music though to a black screen for a while.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
Nobody's staying for the credits.
This is the sound when he can float. Sometimes it made sound effects, and this was one time. There you go. Sound like a fart. Yeah, too much lima beans there. Here's I don't know what a stunk is, but here it is.
You really made me look like a stunk.
A stunk. What's a stunk? What's a stunk?
Wow.
Is that a Jewish thing? Because sometimes you hear Yiddish. I mean,
it's not something I recognize, but
let's see. Looking up in the Yiddish dictionary. Let's see here.
To show impatience or disregard for.
Okay, that's a stunk.
Stunk.
All right. And that is Yiddish.
It's also it's the sound it's going to make when that guy pulls his shorts out of his butt.
A rotten, worthless, or utterly incompetent person.
Good Lord. All right.
Yeah, low life. Despicable, low life.
It's dark, man. Dark. You're such a stunk. All right, here's something in the fish.
The money was inside the fish?
Oh, yeah, we played that earlier. I like that line. Fish. You got it twice. Oh, he says this twice, and it wasn't me. I didn't do this, so the movie did this.
You got it. You got it.
They did it right after each other.
Got it. You got it. You got
like
it.
You got a little editing mistake there, I guess.
Yeah.
Play it again.
Here you go.
You got it. You got it.
It's the exact same line.
Yeah, it's the same line.
It's not. It's not delivered twice.
No, they just played it twice. It was very weird. Here's something about a car.
I've never seen him so mad.
You should spend time in the car with him.
Oh, I'm talking about. How have you never seen? We've never seen him so mad. That's all he is. Ernest Borgnine is always mad.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna have a stroke, or he's gonna get frozen in a fish boat and then drown.
Yep,
and then be saved.
He has almost a full tooth's worth of space between his front teeth. By the way.
He does. Yeah. Like it is like you made a clay head and all you had were chiclets and you shoved chiclets into the gums to make teeth.
Yeah, you'd make it work, but whew.
Yeah,
that's a lot of space. But some people can whistle through there. He can just make a full fart sound. Here's something about batteries included.
Batteries included.
I wish he wouldn't have said that.
Batteries included.
The way he said it.
Batteries included.
Shut up, dude.
The ADR, it's funny because he's just walking around like imitating a robot movement and stuff. But during the ADR, he was holding his nose to do that line.
It had to be, right? Really bad. All right, here's everyone's favorite thing that was misread, but they kept it anyway. I spelled it a human Cuisinart, but here's how she said it.
A human Cuisinart.
That's just terrible.
Cuisinart.
Cuisinart. Here's another. Oh, this is the mob guy getting mad.
You lousy, flat-footed smartass.
Smartass.
I wrote, this sounds wrong.
You're under arrest for the first-degree murder of Police Sergeant William Dunlap.
Oh, it might be because of...
Murder.
Again, just do another take. It's not a problem.
Showing, yeah.
Murder.
And I'm thinking, this movie could be fixed. Like we now have the technology to fix all this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh no, I agree.
When you put on some like Korean or Japanese programming, and the voiceover, the English dub is really good.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there's some of them that it's really good. And you could just go to just treat this like it's a foreign language film.
So you're saying that the insurance company is going to send this back to the shop to get fixed and not just total it, not just count it as a write-off and
Yeah, because why wouldn't you want to?
And there's a lot of scenes where it's just him doing internal monologues. I mean, you could put anything in there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate that part of it though.
Yeah.
Gosh
This
dang
is
it! It was
me on death row, about to die.
But the craziest thing happened. Super. All right, it's time for us to move now to this. Yes, it's the Film Sack checklist. Everybody should regret this project. Check. Worst green screen work in decades. Check. It's real bad. That balloon part.
Oh, bad. Yeah.
Speaking through your fingers just about made me shut this shit off. Check. That was so bad.
Calling all cars.
I hated it. And he did it with both hands. He had one.
Yes. Well, yeah, because one hand wouldn't have had a strong enough signal. So it had to be both hands.
I mean, clearly.
There had to be a physical connection to the airplane to make it work.
Clearly. Yeah. Anyway, that's that. Let's get to the Star Trek connections. Borgnine, right? Somebody in here.
We do have one. Yeah, we have one little connection, and that is Mark Lawrence,
who
played Torpedo in this. I feel like there's been a more famous Mark Lawrence since this. Yeah, is that a name that rings a bell? Mark Lawrence?
No, not for me.
Joey Lawrence.
I think you're combining a couple of names together there. Yeah.
Mark Strong, Joey
Well,
Lawrence. That's a great combo.
This guy who played Torpedo, like our sort of bad guy,
Yeah.
it was in an episode of The Next Generation and an episode of Deep Space Nine. And I went through everyone else in this movie. It didn't take long because it's a movie doesn't have a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And nope, just this one guy, Mark Lawrence.
Does he play like a gangster on the holodeck? Because I feel like
He
that's
has
where
to.
I've seen him. And
He's
Sorry to
always
say
playing
no.
No, really.
No, I mean I just looked at a couple of quick pictures of the characters and I didn't remember them, but like it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just, you know.
Yeah.
That's not like that.
I thought there was some
He's
rumor
in
that
Joe Piscopo's a nightclub or something.
the what you know why I think Borg 9, this is hilarious, is there's that meme of the Borg 9.
Oh, sure.
And they always say the Borg
count?
9 of Borg. Yeah, Ernest 9 of Borg. And it's this image right here, which I see all the time. And so in my head, I have assigned him to working on Star Trek because of it. Nice job, Scott. That's how our brains work. Anyway, what else here? Let's move on to, what did we do? Star Trek? We did. Why did this all flip out? Okay, there we go. Let's get down to our soundtrack rating. Give an OSR for one song rule. It did a pretty good job of adhering to the one song rule. If you're going to have one song, I guess, go ahead and, lean in. It's
One
fine.
song.
One song. All right, and then let's get to the social media post.
You're starting to sound like it's sticking to you, and that's the worst thing that could happen.
No, I know. I thought now I'm going to dream about that. Forget about freaking songs from Fallout. I'm going to do this one now tonight.
No, later. Once we're done recording this episode, everyone, your assignment is to go listen to like hours of other music.
Okay,
as much as you can listen to.
That's a good idea.
Sure,
I like it. Let's get to the social media post. Let's start with Randy this week with 280 characters or less, please.
Super Snooper, a hero with the dumbest weakness, a plot that's best described as incompleteness. How does such sheer dreck even exist? They shot a barn at point blank range and missed. I'm not saying it's a cataclysm. It just takes a certain masochism. This guy can use his mind to steer machinery? At least Miami makes good blurry scenery.
That's all humid and dirty there,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, the 70s and 80s had a way of making everything just look like shit, didn't it?
Yeah.
Dirty.
I remember as a kid going, I'm never
shitty.
It's like I'm never moving to any of these places. And they're actually fun. They're fine cities. I don't know. It was weird. Let's move over to Brian Dunaway now, please.
I watched Super Fuzz, 1980. Like a deadly dose of theme song poisoning. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Hashtag plate of beans. Hashtag super pooper.
That's great. You connected the two stupid ideas.
Uh-huh.
Well done. Brian Ibbett, take us home.
Super Fuzz, a movie so bad it needed to change its name and go into witness protection.
Oh, man. I wouldn't blame it after all that. Well, that's great. And good thing you guys both made this reference coming up here because I made alternate titles or was handed alternate titles that are right along a line with it. So, for example, it was almost called Stupid Fuzz or Stupid Snooper, and they just couldn't decide which one.
Couldn't pick. Yeah. Right.
You know how that goes.
Super Cuisinart.
That's right. Let's get to some emails. We got a couple of them here this week I'd like to focus on. Filmsack@gmail.com is where to send those. Hey Sackers, I've been catching up on episodes and love the Cabin in the Woods discussion, says Chris, who wrote this in. It made me wonder where Tucker and Dale versus Evil is on your list. Maybe more of an October entry, but you can't go wrong with Alan Tudyk.
Yes.
Led supervision. Sorry, he said supervision. He meant subversion of the horror camping genre. Over to you, Randy. Regards, says Chris. I think that would be a great idea. I think it works. Even though it's kind of played for laughs, it's also quite subversive and interesting in its own way. I would have no problem doing Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, we did Cabin in the Woods, right? I mean, that was kind of, I mean, it's not as
Parody.
abstract, but it's still in that vein, right?
Yeah. I really like that movie. So
yeah,
I'm down if you guys
I
are
enjoyed
down.
it.
Yeah. Has everyone seen it here? The Tale.
No, I'd watch it again.
Oh, you'd
I have
like
no
it,
idea
Brian.
what you're talking about.
You never heard of Tucker and Dale?
Oh my God! I think we had to watch it because Nicole recommended it.
I still don't know what you're talking about. 'Cause when it was named the second time, everybody talked over it.
So let's keep talking about it.
So,
And don't
like
tell Randy what it
like
is.
the email said, Tucker and Dale versus Evil is the name of the movie.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And you need to see that,
Plus,
dude.
Tucker and Dale must die. Is that?
No,
No,
that was
Tucker and Dale dies at the end.
Yeah.
Is what it's called.
There was supposed to be a sequel, and it never happened, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because that movie's freaking great. I love it.
Yeah.
It's funny and kind of horrifying at the same time.
And
Yeah.
I feel like I saw it for Film Sack. That's weird.
No, he definitely didn't.
Okay.
I saw it for, like, I don't know what I said. I saw it for something.
Yeah, it was something. Maybe I saw it for recommendals or something because
something like
I do
that,
remember.
right?
Now that I'm looking at clips, it's like, oh no, I've totally seen this, or photos. I mean, I
Did
totally
we
remember
couch
seeing
party this? We might have.
No, we definitely didn't couch party it.
Okay.
No, it was a while ago. It was when it was just Nicole on recommendals.
Yeah, because it's older.
And
Yeah.
for some reason we watched it. Maybe it was did we used to do like assigned watching or something? I remember when we were doing the cards that we had to watch a movie that had horror,
right.
comedy, something, and
Right.
we had to fit the choice.
We may have tried to watch things each other watched before or something for a while, and it wasn't.
Maybe, yeah. That's
It's
what's
untenable or something. Anyway, I'd do it again. That movie's great. Joe wrote in, says, "Hey guys, I've been listening to Bond Sax, and I wanted to let you know about a CD called Best of Bond with many of the good themes. It has the music from On Her Majesty's Secret Service that I also liked, and I completely agree with you that You Only Live Twice is a great song. Also love the show, though. Joe, I'm going to guess Ibbott has this album, right? This is a thing you have?
Yeah. What's it called again?
Best of Bond.
Best of Bond. Just Best of Bond.
Oh yeah, just all the theme songs. Yeah, I've got this. And
Good
it's
old
also
Best of
got
Bond.
Best of Bond. Bond Sax is what I've written down. This is what it's called.
Sure.
Yeah, no, and what's cool about it is it's got like each of the theme songs, but then it's got like the best of the interstitial or the score music for each for a lot of them, and some alternates like Shirley Bassey doing some other themes, I guess.
Oh, other themes in the series that she didn't do originally?
I'm looking at mine, and it's all reorchestrated versions, and it's only up to the Timothy Dalton movies, so it doesn't have anything after Timothy
So
Dalton.
maybe I'm looking at something, or I'm thinking something different, because the one that I've got is has all of the themes on it, all the way up to looks like the Jack White and Alicia another way to
yeah,
die.
you know what, they've re-released this over and over.
Or they just called it, like, they just have multiple things that are the same name.
Yeah.
So you tell me, is there a Shirley Bassey?
Like,
Is there a Shirley Bassey where she does the Chris Cornell theme?
No, gosh, no.
That would be
no,
so
but
cool.
it was like From Russia with Love, maybe. Let me see. I've got it in my library here as well.
Dude.
I do have her doing A View to a Kill, From Russia with Love, Nobody Does It Better, We Have All the Time in the World, You Only Live Twice. So a bunch that she didn't do.
Oh, I love Nobody Does It Better. That's a great song.
So
that's from a different thing from Bassey Sings Bond.
Oh, okay.
So there's a 2012 release of the Best of Bond. It's 2 discs, 50 songs.
Jeez.
50 songs.
And they all just re-orchestrations, you said? Like
No, it's mostly the originals.
Oh, okay. Okay. Like remasters or something? Well, probably some of them.
Yeah, a bunch of remastered Shirley Bassey and Carly Simon and so on.
Oh, I'd be down.
But then there's great. Like, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, the theme, the theme that doesn't have lyrics, that we talked about last time,
right,
a couple times ago.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
So this is a series of CDs. I just only ever got the first one, the very first one from like 30 years ago, and like some of the issues in the series are amazing.
Interesting. Well, check that out, everyone at home. Looks like it's available pretty much everywhere. And it looks like there might be multiples, and also the thing Randy has Brian has sounds cool. I like Shirley Bassey.
Yeah. That is just an album called Bassey Sings Bond, and it's the ones she did, as well as some ones where she went back and re-recorded, like you said, the Duran Duran. She redoes A View to a Kill with her vocals and stuff.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
cool. All right.
Yeah.
Neat. Have to check that out. Thank you for that email, Joe and Chris. If you'd like to send us emails, filmsack@gmail.com. You can also keep texting us. Get a lot of those as well. 801-471-0462. You can also leave a voicemail there if you prefer. I'd like to thank some folks who joined us this week on Patreon. Al Kebab, we know him.
Yay.
And Seb also joined us over at patreon.com/filmsack. Because of that, you'll get no commercials. You'll get pre-show content every week. You'll get monthly episodes from the host. You're getting a new one from Ibbott here in a couple of days. So watch for that.
That's right.
Movie-related art prints from me in the mail and other great monthly benefits. You just got to go check them out and see what you want over there at patreon.com/filmsack. Speaking of our next episode, we are doing a mailbag episode. And you might say, ooh, usually when you guys do those because something's going on. Well, Ibbott and I will be in Vegas doing TMS Vegas.
That's right.
So that's where we'll be, and that's why we're doing it.
What's going on? Yeah.
But it'll be great. And we're doing a question and answer sort of email in sort of episode. So listener feedback episode, I guess is the way to say it. And you've already done it. You've sent us a ton of things. Huge thanks ahead of time because we're going to be using them all for that next episode. And then after that, we're finally getting around to that Britney Spears thing that we avoided for so long.
So you're like you can sit down and go and watch these other Terrence Hill movies and be excited about it. And then
Yes, that's a great idea. More Terrence Hill.
How could you be so forgiving of Super Snooper and not
Yeah.
Because it's got Zoe Saldana and Anson Mount.
Anson Mount.
But I feel like it's gonna be boring.
I love it. I do. I mean, I remember being thrilled that this was not going to happen before, but at this time, I'm actually kind of. I need some closure on it, so I think we need to do it. I think it needs to happen.
Yeah.
So that'll be in 2 weeks, but next week our mailbag episode. So check that out, everyone. In the meantime, filmsack.com is our website. You can go check out all the stuff you need there. It links to everything. Also, leave us reviews wherever you get your shows. It means a lot to us and helps the show grow. That's going to do it for us, for me, for Brian, and for Randy.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Murder.
Murder.
Murder.